What's going on, y'all? Today is Monday, March 20th, and Pops and I are back in the shop. He's back there taking off a vent line, I believe.
Yep.
And we're going to fix and get the fuel cell out of this Mastersbilt right here. We got the next project in the shop. It's a good friend of ours, Albert Davis. If y'all remember Kelly Davis's Impressive that we worked on, this is his brother. This is Albert's 2010 Mastersbilt 602 crate car. And he had an unfortunate chain of events at Moulton Speedway a few weeks ago. I'll turn the camera around, show y'all what we got going on. It's gonna be a job kind of like Blake's Harris, where we had to do the rear tail section, where the fuel cell mounts. And it'll be a little more straightforward on this Mastersbilt. So y'all hang out with us. All right. As y'all can see, she's a little bent up. Albert got into the wall right there, obviously, and the track was real slimy up top. I believe it was in qualifying. He got a little too high and got up in the marbles, and it took off. So he hit the wall coming out of forward right here, and it just bent this rear section over. It doesn't look like anything is bent from here forward, which we will measure all that. I talked to Mastersbilt, and these measurements are supposed to be square in here where these bars are, these shock mount bars. So we'll double check all that, make sure none of that moved. And then it bent that bar, and then it broke this bar. So of course it bent these down tubes from the halo, and we'll just instead of splicing those, we're gonna cut them off up there at the halo. We're gonna replace the whole tube and just make it right. So this frame rail is 1 3/4 tubing, and since all this back here just holds the fuel cell and the rear bumper and T-bar, we talked to Albert, and he's okay with us doing it like we like to do. For example, like this car here, our car, this is 1 3/4, and when the halo was raised, Justin McCree at High Roller, he slid this 1.5 inches into the 1 3/4 and welded it up. So it makes it stronger that way. You don't have a splice point. I've talked about that before. You know, we can slug bars and rosette weld them, but then you have that weld, and where you weld, you kind of have a weak point. And when you slide a tube up in a tube, and we'll put 3 or 4 inches of tube up in that 1 3/4, and it just makes it stronger. It's a better fold point. It won't break. If this situation ever happened again, it would do the same thing. Hopefully just bend and not just snap off and fuel cell come out of it and maybe cause a fire or something. So, but that's the new project. I'm gonna throw it up on time lapse for a little bit until we get the roof off of the car. Once we get the roof off and the fuel cell out of it, we may go ahead and cut all this rear clip off. And then we'll get it up on jack stands, get the whole car level, front to back, side to side. And then we'll get busy cutting some tubing and get ready to put this rear section back together. So y'all hang out with us. Me and Pops are gonna get busy. All right, y'all. As y'all seen in the time lapse, Pops and I got her all cut off and got it on jack stands, got everything level. We leveled off of the driver's side frame rail. Most people know on the right side frame rail on these late models, especially this older car in 2010, some of them were straight rail, some of them were raised rail. So this is a raised rail car. So we leveled off of the driver's side, front to back. Then we double checked some bars over here, front to back, made sure everything was level. Halo, side to side level. This bar is level, and these bars here are level front to back. So everything's good. Nothing bent up here like we were expecting. We were thinking that maybe this whole rear section got tweaked a little bit, but once we cut it, it kind of sprung back like it was supposed to. And we worked on this one right here just a second ago. It had a burr in it where the tube broke, so we had to take a die grinder and kind of clean that out. We made sure 1.5 inch tubing went up in there. And then this one, as y'all see, it's broke off a little bit back. We're not gonna worry about that. Like I said, we're gonna go up in here. So we'll be able to weld all that solid. Obviously, we'll clean off all these tubes where we cut it. Right here, as y'all see, this bar behind the driver comes up and tied into the down tube that went to the rear clip back here. So what we're gonna do is I started cutting it. I ran out of battery. So I started cutting it with the grinder, and I've got part of it just kind of hanging on there right now. And we're gonna come in here and we're gonna finish cutting that off. Pop's stoking up the fire. She's still a little chilly outside. So what we're gonna do, we come in and we cut alongside this tube. We'll cut through that tube and cut. I tried to cut as close as I could to the weld here. And what we'll do is we'll come in here and I'll cut this way, and I'll take the top part of this tube out. And then that'll allow me to grind the weld on this tube here until I get that weld ground off and I can peel out the bottom of what is left in this tube. And then that tube is not moved, we're not touching it, so it'll be where it needs to be. We can lay our new down tube right into the saddle that is left, that notch there, and weld it all back together. So it takes a little time, but it makes it a lot neater, and we don't have to redo this bar. A lot of times, if this car, to be honest with you, if this car didn't have sheet metal on it, I would probably go in there, cut that bar, and just cut this off and do away with all this and redo it. So it just makes it easier that way. But since it has everything on it, the tub is in it, the decking's on it, it's just easier to come in here, cut this weld, grind this weld, pull that tube out of there, lay the new tube in there. Yep. Just a lot easier that way. So there we are. Now we are going to, Pops and I just got down a full stick of 1.5 inch, as y'all see right there. I'm gonna measure out 36 inches. What we've got to do is we've got to be 32.5 inches from this bar to the very tail end of our piece of tubing out here, our frame rail out here. So we're gonna do it 36. We just rounded up to 36. That leaves us 3.5 inches that we get to stick inside that tube. So we like to put at least 3 to 4 in there just to add some strength. And we were talking about it just a second ago. We'll probably go ahead and drill this and rosette weld it. After we get that tube slid up in there, we can drill it here, drill it underneath, rosette weld it, and that won't let the tail end of that tube move around. Just be hanging in there. So it'll add some strength. But that's where we're at. I'm gonna leave it on real time, and that way y'all can watch us do some cutting and figure out our rear bars back here. What we're gonna do is do our bars. We're gonna cut these to length out here. Then I'll measure what we need between, and we'll cut what we need between. So, and then we'll get all that tacked together. We haven't built us any stands yet to hold up stuff that we're working on. So y'all may see some, y'all may see some makeshift work here in just a second. We got our step treads again that we used on Blake's car. So y'all hang out with us. We're gonna do a tail section. All right, y'all. So we got her on real time. We're gonna get these bars cut. I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit that way because we're working right here. So y'all hang out. We're fixing to do some cleaning up. I'm gonna go ahead and Pops, he was drilling holes for the rosette welds, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the grinder. And I'm gonna clean up those welds where we cut those tubes off at. Since we can't have a radio. Get old copyrighted. Everybody wants to get paid. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. We're gonna be 3 inches in, right? 3.5. 3.5. All right. Yep.
give me a look, see here, will you take measure? Make sure I don't get too far. Look.
Micrometer. Like coming right here, right behind the hand.
It's coming right here.
Yep. Right there.
I'm on guard.
You tear your glove?
No. Oh no. I didn't know it was.
That all, man?
Yeah.
Anybody that does work on metal, y'all know that y'all could eat gloves up like crazy. Me and Pops go through gloves so much. And I mean, we bought good ones, we bought cheap ones, and
It don't matter.
Be honest with you, it's just a lot more feasible for us to buy the cheap ones and throw them away.
Yep.
Because right now I got grinding holes where sparks have burnt holes in this one, so this is all part of it.
If it wanted to come unplugged. Somebody's got a piece of tubing in the way. You gotta know. Ooh. Sweet Caroline.
We got a marker while I was over there.
Oh, I have one in here sticker.
Guess not.
You did too. Oh, yeah. Well, I see two small ones
You
in
know
there.
what? You might be laying out here in this toolbox.
Oh.
Show honey.
Is that any good?
I think so. Yeah, it's all right. $36 inches. 36. Harbor Freight?
No,
No.
we got a bandsaw.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Braden and Brian at Twisted Performance. Where you going?
Get the grind.
Oh.
I gotta clean this up here.
I got you. They come when they come in and lash the valves on Blake's car the other night. They said they had a bandsaw that they've never used. They're gonna let us have. We're gonna do a little trading, horse trading. They want us this big steel table we got over here. So you get us a bandsaw.
Well, about doing trading.
Yeah. Yeah. If we can trade for something and it helps us out, and then that table will help them out. Just like that. We got me right there.
2 and a half.
Yep. 32 and a half.
Okay.
That's why we like working on late models that don't have underslung. They're a lot easier to fix the tail section on. A lot easier. Do it.
Get our distance we need from here to here.
Yep. Yeah, we got to be 27 and a half.
Yeah.
From there to the crossbar.
Yeah.
Cool. Cut us another 36. Yeah. Right. Should be long enough. Yeah, we're good there. Roll that car to you there. Wheels turning on.
It's getting higher as we go.
Yeah, we'll be out right there. Small shop, limited space. You gotta do what you got.
Gotta get her done.
Yep. You know what line? With it. Bazinga. Bazinga, bazinga. This one may need a little bit plating.
Should I need to clean the other end of that too?
No, we'll clean it up. I'll clean it before we weld the washers on there. Just a little persuasion.
Nothing to it.
No. Of course,
Wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
we'll pick that up and get everything level, y'all.
Yeah.
We're not just gonna tag it together, I promise. Man, I almost stopped right on the money. Right there.
All right.
What do you think? Put one tack on top,
Yep, I would.
and then we can still move
Well,
it.
let's,
Level
I was gonna lay a level on there and just tack it, and then we can,
it. Hey, just get that up. Let me get that 2 foot level.
yeah.
A little more accuracy. Whoa. Car moving around. If I raise it, we'll be all right. We gotta build up. Here I am kicking the camera around. We gotta build us some tire racks over here on the wall so we can get some stuff up out of the floor.
Stuff up out of the floor. Hey, let me go. Unhook it.
See level right there? What we're gonna do, y'all, we're gonna tack it right here on top. And that way we can still move it side to side to get square. And but we'll pull it up level and throw a tack on it. I mean, it ain't bad off. I'm literally picking it up 16th, 18th. So we'll just tack it, one tack right here on top. We can still move it side to side. We'll do that one the same way and get our square, and then we can measure what we need between. And we know we gotta be 27.5 inches from this bar to the inside of the other bar, the rear bar that holds the fuel cell. So we'll get that in there. Pops is unhooking the MSD box. We always like to unhook that. You never know. Even though we'll be hooking the ground right here, you still never know. Never know.
This one's gotta have a screw line plug somewhere.
The hard wire,
Yeah.
got that flat 4 or flat 6, whatever it is.
Somewhere. Everything's all tied up in knots.
They got the hard wire in.
We don't have a-
We can unplug this one right here.
Uh-huh.
Let me get them dice. We can put a new zip tie in there. All right, we're good. We're good. Put one tack on the side because it kept wanting to move a little bit.
I see that.
But it's over here so we can pull
Yeah.
what we need. Hold it better. All right, y'all. We were kind of just figuring out some stuff. We've seen it in the past, but we wanted to make sure before we went any further. On the Mastersbilt, the right rear rail kind of angles out as it comes back. This driver's side rail is more straight. So we just wanted to check that. And we pulled a bunch of measurements just then, and I'm gonna call a buddy tonight and just verify. But we have our bars straight with the frame rails. We've laid a level up against a straight edge up against the frame rail and measured, and our bars are straight with the old rails. We knew they kind of flared out, but we wanted to double check that. So what we're gonna do is cut our piece to go across the back. All right, y'all. It is Tuesday, March 21st.
Yeah.
Tuesday, 21st. Pops and I just got down to the shop. It's Tuesday evening. I think it's close to 6 o'clock or 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that. And Pops is working on, he got some sheet metal he's gonna trim to go around that roll cage right there. And that way it'll cover up that decking sheet metal, so when we grind on those bars up there, it won't be bad on the sheet metal. So I'm gonna get busy cutting on this right here, what I was talking about last night. I'm gonna get that old piece cut off and then start cutting around that weld so we can lay our new down tube in there. I did talk to Mastersbilt today on the phone. They did give me the measurement I needed for these bars back here, how wide they needed to be, and we are dead on that measurement. Tater told me to lay a straight edge on the old frame rail and lay a straight edge on that frame rail, and that's exactly what we did last night. So we're dead on our measurement, and he told me to go with it. So now we're gonna work on getting these down tubes tied back in. And once we get the down tubes in and the little brace bars back in, little 1-inch brace bars, then we can work on the fuel cell can. We may pull that bladder out of that fuel cell and beat that can out a little bit, straighten it up. Yeah, if we can. And then we're gonna build a new frame. I'm gonna throw it on time lapse. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna throw it up on time lapse and we're gonna get busy. Y'all hang out with us. All right, y'all, as y'all seen in the time lapse what we were working on, I was working on getting all this old weld ground off here. I still got just a little bit right there I need to get off underneath. I couldn't, kind of hard getting that grinder in there. But y'all see right here what we were talking about. We ground where the notch was. And I'm gonna clean that up a little bit more and clean that notch up right there a little bit. But what we were doing, y'all seen us just test fitting a piece of tubing. And that tubing will lay right in there. I mean, it'll lay right back where it was. So we just wanted to get that old piece of tubing out of there so we can lay the new tubing right in there. We can weld all that back up and it'll look like it did from the factory. But that's what we're working on. We're gonna get that cleaned up, get that ground off right there. And then once we get that ground off, then we're gonna start making down bars to the rear end. So y'all hang out with us. I'm probably gonna put it back on time lapse. Like I said, this video is getting kind of long. I didn't want to break it up into 2 videos and kind of just keep all this project in 1 video. So y'all hang out with us. Enjoy the time lapse. We're gonna get some down bars on here, and I'll pick the phone back up here in just a second and show y'all what we got going on. All right, y'all. Pops is getting a stick of 1 inch down, and that way we can put the kickers back in right here. They went from this bar here straight up to this down tube, so we can put a 1 inch kicker back in there. But there she is, notched. And the old notch there is a little big, but that's no big deal. We can weld all that up. So that's no big deal. But we got it fitting how we want it. Kind of back, almost back identical where it was on the, from the factory. So now we'll get that cleaned up there, that old weld right there. And then we'll make this down tube, and we'll put our 1 inch kickers in there, and we'll weld all this Jesse up right here, and the rear clip will be done. Yeah, other than fuel cell.
Start figuring out fuel cell.
Yep. Okay. So y'all hang out with us. I'm gonna throw it back up on time lapse. We'll get this cleaned up, get this down tube right here made. Y'all stick with us. I'll show y'all once we get it made and get the 1 inch kickers in it. We'll show y'all where we're at. Y'all hang out. Oh, no. All right, y'all. Well, there she is. We got our down tubes in. We got our 1 inch down bars, kickers down. We got all that fitted up. So now we can do some welding. We get all this welded on. And for those that don't know, Mastersbilt always makes that side shorter over there. So if it looks a little funny to you, that's because we tried to get all this back to where it was originally. That way Albert can reuse his decking and it'll go right back in around all these bars. So we done what we could to get real close. So
if this bar was back here, we done ran into that on
yeah.
another car. The fuel cell.
Yep, fuel cell hit it. So yep. Well, there's the rear clip rebuild. And move that level. I can see it getting knocked off. But anyway, there's the rear clip rebuild. I can't even say that. Say that 10 times fast. We'll get all this welded up. And then we'll be ready to do the fuel cell brackets. And once we do the fuel cell brackets, we're going to work on his bumper and get it to go back on here. He told us just to reuse it. We'll put new kickers on it where they bent them. We'll put new stubs on it to where it goes in the chassis. And we'll put all that back on when we get done with it. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to make this a part 1 because this took a little longer than what we expected. And well, as far as the video and part of it. So the next video will be part 2 of the Mastersbilt. And we'll do the fuel cell. And that shouldn't take us too bad. Shouldn't take us too long. It's a little bit of work, but it's no big deal. And Albert brought his trailer out here and dropped it off to us. We've got an old set of ramp overs. What it was, he uses an enclosed trailer and he's stepping back to an open trailer. And we've got a used set of ramp overs that we had on a 16-foot trailer. And that's what he's pulling. And we told him we would rig those ramp overs up on his trailer because we don't haul late models anymore. And so that way he'll have a little open trailer he can pull with easy instead of that big enclosed with a half-ton truck. So
it's supposed to start warming up. Right?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Yeah, but that dang rain. But this is going to be part 1 of the Mastersbilt. We can't thank y'all enough for watching and subscribing. If y'all haven't hit that subscribe button for us, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us out. And we got a lot more stuff coming. We got some parts coming this week for our car that were gifted to us. I guess you could say they were a sponsored deal, but we're going to shout out who gave them to us, and we're going to shout out that coming later in this week because it is the last part we need to get our car rolling. So, well, we got to get 2 jack bolts, other than 2 jack bolts.
2 jack bolts.
But, yeah, and a couple of wheels, but we're working on that.
Hey, that ain't no problem.
We can get it rolling. We can borrow a wheel, but...
Hey, when cars comes in out of here, we'll just take one off.
There you go. There you go. But we appreciate y'all watching. We're almost up to 500 subscribers. So we appreciate that very much. Y'all please continue watching. We got a lot more content coming. We're going to get our car together soon. I promise. We're going to get some sheet metal on it. We're going to get busy getting it race ready. We appreciate y'all watching. Until next time.
Appreciate it, guys. God bless you.
See y'all.